Hey, so if you like the video, please check out my channel and subscribe. It's free, and it helps me out a lot. Enjoy the video. Speedrunning. It's, well, fast, chaotic, difficult, and most people had never heard of our little hobby until earlier this year. So before I go into why speedrunning is the perfect sport, we're going to look at speedrunning as a whole. Speedrunning, by definition, is completing a game or level of a game as fast as possible. This isn't much different from that of running in the Olympics. Speedrunners compete with thousands of other individuals to climb the leaderboards in difficult categories. Some of these, like the 100-meter dash, last 10 seconds, while others are like a marathon, sometimes lasting days. There's even a speedrun that lasts a minimum of 15 days to complete. But these runs weren't the beginning. Speedrunning began with Doom. Doom had fluid movement and self-timing runs, creating a community of runners that would push the game to its very limits. Doom rewarded players for completing levels faster as it gives less time for monsters to spawn, making each level easier than the last, creating the perfect speedrunning game. It's no wonder that runners are still submitting runs to this day. But before I lose track of myself, let's get back to the question at hand. Why is speedrunning the perfect sport? First, speedrunning takes skill and knowledge of the game you are playing. Next up is a Super Mario Odyssey speedrunner who operated in the minimum captures category. Minimum captures is in Super Mario Odyssey capturing the minimum number of objects or beings as Mario. This, even though it began at 13, was later worked down to 3 with glitches. And I'm going to focus on a particular one that takes a lot of skill and a lot of good timing to show. So what Small Ant is attempting is called the wet nut glitch. While it has a funny name, this seed that is used in this glitch requires difficult timing and precise inputs to make it work. But with the precise inputs, this glitch allows you to fly, avoiding 3 separate captures in the final kingdom of Super Mario Odyssey. While this seems like it shouldn't be allowed, and it seems like using a glitch to advance could be cheating, this is exactly what makes speedrunning special and unique. Using a glitch like this that requires a lot of precise inputs and timing makes speedrunning better and more difficult for the runners, as well as more entertaining to watch. As this glitch is particularly difficult to do and requires prolonged nut jumping, as the community has come to call it, it allows for the runners to have a difficult portion of their run right at the end, making it both stressful for the viewer, but also that much more entertaining to watch. Seeing a runner on world record pace facing his most difficult challenge being a glitch that could mess up at any point and lose the world record, it's extremely stressful and exhilarating to watch, making it that much more entertaining for the viewer. You're rooting for the runner because you want him to get that world record and top the leaderboards. Small Ant completes this glitch and finishes his run in just under an hour and 30 minutes. World record at the time. But this is still incredible to think that the main story of Super Mario Odyssey is estimated to be completed at 12.5 hours. Even with a significant hurdle of not being able to capture as many as a normal player would, he still took 11 hours off Nintendo's estimate. Now that is insane to think about. Any casual player, even if they were trying to complete the run quickly, would likely finish the game in 8 to 10 hours. If they were trying to complete it as fast as possible, looking at guides, trying to do everything they can. But Small Ant has the entire game memorized and the entire route to finish minimum captures memorized so well that he is able to complete the game with 11 hours under what Nintendo estimates it will take to complete it. If this doesn't speak to the capacity of speedrunners and the skill that it takes to complete these runs, I don't know what does. Many of these runners spend hundreds of hours practicing, memorizing these routes just like Small Ant did, and as they complete their runs, get faster and faster until eventually they can reach their PB or world record pace.
Reclaim my world record! Gotta take it. Gotta get that extra capture in. Let's go! 1 hour, 18 minutes, 12 seconds. A new minimum captures world record just like that. Just like that. I cannot believe it. I did not expect this to go this well today. Whew.
Alright, so moving on from Small Ant, we're going to talk about one of the most difficult and confusing parts of speedrunning, which most speedrunners will know, they can say it with me, is RNG. RNG, which stands for Random Number Generation, literally can make or break speedruns. The most notable of these is Minecraft, in which Dream recently has been accused of speedrunning with a modded client, changing the RNG so that he can get the world record. I'm not going to make any titles on this, but this shows the issues of RNG, but also how it can equalize and level the playing field. Even someone as famous as Dream, whether he cheated or not, can have difficulty getting a world record run because of this RNG. Now, I'm not here to make any claims about Dream. As far as I know, he seems like a stand-up guy, however, it's difficult to tell given all of the allegations against him, so I'm not going to make any accusations upon him. But what I'm here to talk about is just RNG and how it becomes such an issue in some games. For Minecraft, you can have thousands and thousands of runs and not be capable of getting a world record because how the world is built, or because of how ender pearls are dropped from the piglins, or because of how the blaze rods drop. There is so many factors that affect your run. But this doesn't just happen in Minecraft. This happens in so many other games. One of the most infamous memories of this was by Can't Even in Portal 2. Can't Even was in a big race against M Sushi for the Portal 2 speedrun any percent world record, and he thought he'd had it, the God Run. He was almost 3 minutes ahead of his time, about to skip the first 102 and get a 101. It was incredible. And then he hit the room at the beginning of Chapter 8. In this room you see the introduction of the Franken turret. These little boxes with turrets in them that move around on their own. Now Valve hardwired this so that these turrets can't trigger the button without the player being in the room. Or so they thought. Now when this button is triggered, it triggers a cutscene unless the player is behind the panel that closes. However, if there is no player in the room when the button is triggered, then the cutscene doesn't begin and the panel stays in place, meaning that there is no way to escape the room and it is essentially the end of a run. Now, the odds of this are incredibly low, but Can't Even got this on his perfect run. He was on pace to make the first 101. Can't Even was shocked. There was no way to save his run when he entered the room and the door was already sealed. He could have survived the 1 minute cutscene and still gotten a world record. But he was stuck. The run over. He couldn't reload a save. It was against the rules. There was no way out, and he had to give up on the run. But how did this happen? How did the worst RNG come upon him when he had the perfect run? Well, the answer isn't that simple. It seems as though that He had the worst possible luck, as well as the creator Valve overlooking one tiny issue with their Franken turrets. This issue was that their Franken turrets could bump into each other. There was a very small chance that if one Franken turret bumped into another at a very specific angle, at a very specific time, it would bounce one of the Franken turrets into the air, possibly landing it on the button. If the player was not in the room when the button was pressed, the cutscene would not be triggered, and therefore the player could not move forward, essentially ending the run before the player had even gotten there. See, but that didn't end the reign of Can't Even. This isn't a sad story of RNG. Because speedrunning is still skill-based enough that it isn't just a random person gets the record. You have to have certain skills to even get close. And Can't Even, after that God run, knew exactly what he had to do to push the record lower and lower, eventually resulting in him getting the world record at 57 minutes and 57 seconds, almost 6 minutes below what they had anticipated when he had gotten this God run. And that's it for today. RNG creates a perfect sport. There's so many different things that can happen, but you see the consistent tale of people pushing records to their very limits, and also learning the skills, so much so that speedrun isn't
look at that.
just
What a time.
how good you are on a certain day, but it's also how good you are consistently, making it that much more difficult to do. Either way, hope you guys have a great day. Please subscribe and leave a like. Thanks for watching.